Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, dear devotees, and pranams. Thank you very much for joining in for our Ramayana study session today. Let's start with prayers. Om Ajnanatimandasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Shri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Stapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamayam Dadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Yudapadakammalam Shri Gurun Vaishnavamscha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahana Raghunathan Vitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadutam Parijana Sahitam Sri Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakhanvitamscha Namo Vishnupadaya Krishna Presthaya Bhutale Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swami Niti Namine Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvisesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Deshatarine Namo Mahavadanyaya Krishna Prema Pradhayate Krishnaya Krishna Chaitanya Namne Gauradvishe Namaha Panchatattvatmakam Krishnam Bhaktarupa Swarupakam Bhaktavataram Bhaktakyam Namami Bhakta Shaktikam He Krishna Karuna Sindho Deenabandho Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namosute Taptakanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanu Devi Pranamami Haripriye Vancha Kalpatarubhyascha Kripa Sindhubhyeva cha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha Jai Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shri Vasadi Gaur Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram 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 Hare Hare Gurave Gaurachandraya Radhikaya Tarale Krishnaya Krishna Bhaktaya Tadbhaktaya Namo Namaha Mukam Karoti Vachalam Pangum Langayate Girim Yatkrapadamham Vande Shri Gurun Dinatarinam Paramananda Madhavam Shri Krishna Chaitanyamishwaram Harihi Om Tatsat. Hare Krishna, dear devotees, and pranams. Thank you for joining in for our Ramayana study session today. Welcome all of you. So we are studying that part of how Kaikeyi has influenced Dasharath Maharaj and whatever Dasharath Maharaj is saying, right, in terms of let Bharat become the king, but let Ram not go into exile for 14 years to the forest. But yet it falls into deaf ears because Kaikeyi's mind is already poisoned, right? So at that time, Dhritarashtra, Dasharath Maharaj, he falls down unconscious because all of his attempts to convince Kaikeyi to some or the other, at least take back this intention or this desire to send Rama to the forest for 14 long years. Right? At least that you take back, Bharat can become the king. So that is what Dasharath Maharaj is requesting Kaikeyi, but she would not budge. Right? So Dasharath Maharaj is falling down unconscious. And Kaikeyi is there. So next day morning, Vasishta Muni is coming. And Vasishta Muni comes, Sumantra, who's the charioteer of Dasharath Maharaj, he actually comes to wake up our Dasharath Maharaj. Right? So that's where we stopped yesterday. And how he was glorifying with various prayers, asking Dasharath Maharaj to wake up. So in that we stopped yesterday. So let me share my screen. Let's continue to see what is the conversation that happens between Sumantra and Dasharath Maharaj as given by Krishna Dharma Prabhu, who is a disciple of His Divine Grace Abhay Charanarvind Bhaktivedanta Swami, Srila Prabhupada. All right, so Karpaguli Mataji's hand up, I'm seeing. Please unmute and you can read, Mataji.
Hare Krishna, Mataji. Am I audible, Mataji?
Yes.
Hearing Sumantra from there, no, Mataji?
Hearing Sumantra speaking at the door.
Okay. Hearing Sumantra speaking at the door, Dasratha became overwhelmed with sorrow once more. He went to his charioteer and embraced him. The king looked at Sumantra with eyes reddened with grief. Today, O Sumantra, your well-chosen words only pierced my heart with pain. Dasratha's happiness had ended. He could not say anything more and simply stood with tears flowing down his face. Sumantra was unable to fathom the cause of the king's sadness. He stepped back with tightly joined arms. He was saying, this was strange. Surely this was the happiest day of Dasratha's life. For so long he had decided to decide a successor. At last his desire was about to be fulfilled. Seeing the mystified mantra, Kaikeyi said, the king was remain awake the entire night, considering Rama's inspiration. Sleeplessness had made him unwell. His wishes knew now to see his son, therefore bring Rama here. The intelligent minister looked at Dasratha. Something was surely wrong. On such a momentous occasion, why was the king not himself going to fetch Rama? Dasratha saw his minister's confusion. Reassuring him, the king told him to fetch Rama. Sumantra considered then that his master might just be exhausted from the preparation for the installation. Saying, it shall be done, he bowed low and left for Rama's palace. Meanwhile, the priests were making ready for all the items required for the ceremony. Around the beautifully carved and adorned wooden seat were arranged many golden pitchers filled with water from all the sacred rivers, ready to anoint Rama. Above the seat was a large white umbrella, which shone like the full moon on a clear night. Western musicians played melodies appropriate to the mood, while Brahmins chanted Vedic texts meant to invoke good fortune. The brilliant sun rose in a clear sky and everyone eagerly awaited the arrival of the king and the son. The mantra reached Rama's palace, which was as splendid as Mount Kailasa, secured with oak doors, 50 feet tall, and embellished with hundreds of balconies. Its main facade was adorned with gold images studded with innumerable gems. The outer gateway was constructed of coral work with gold and embedded with large precious stones of every description. As Samantha passed through the gateway, he was greeted by delightful music and the aroma of various incenses. Peacocks and cranes crowded the courtyard, which was graced with blossoming trees and bushes. Samantha descended from his chariot and entered the palace, which was no which was in no way inferior to the palace of Kuvera, the god of riches. Enlivened by simply seeing the palace, Sumantra passed through three instances. He regarded the powerful young warriors wielding spears and bows. Rama was as dear to him as his own life, and his heart pounded with joy as he approached the inner chambers. The corridors through the palace were cool and delightful, decorated with fine wood carvings and lit by luster of thousands of celestial gems. Arriving at the gates to Rama's personal quarters, Sumantra asked the doorkeepers that to inform Rama of his arrival. Rama, who was alone with Sita, immediately insisted that Sumantra can be shown to his throne. Sumantra went before Rama, who he found seated upon a golden couch, being fanned gently with the wrist by Sita, richly adorned with costly garments and smeared with crimson and sandal paste. Rama seemed to shine like the midday sun. He smiled affectionately at Sumantra, who fell prostrate on the ground, offering prayers. Rising up with folded hands, the minister said, most blessed is Kausalya for having had you as her son. Your father alone with Queen Kaikeyi now desires to see you. Be pleased to go there without delay. Rama looked at Sita and said, surely my father is written with the screen about my installation. I think the blessed Kaikeyi, always favorable to my father, must even now be urging the king to make haste with the ceremony, knowing as he does how much the emperor longs for its completion. As he has sent his most trusted messengers to fetch me, the king, along with his most beloved queen, undoubtedly wish to bless me that my installation will proceed without impediment. Rama rose to leave, and the dark eyes and lovely Sita invoked divine blessings upon him. Following your husband to the gate, he said, after installing you as Prince Regent, the kingship in a course of time, concrete, consecrate you as the ruler of this world, even as Brahma himself, Indra as the ruler of the gods. I wish to serve you in that state. May the great deities Indra, Yamaraja, Varna, and Kuvera, and the guardians of the four quarters guard you from every side. Along with Sumantra and Rama went out from his. Okay, ma'am. Thank,
Thank you so much.
thank you.
So this is very awesome, isn't it? So see, on the day of the coronation, or when Lord Rama is going to be declared as a prince regent, generally the father only comes and takes, and he is called at the time when the announcement is going to be made. That is how it generally works. But here we see that the things have turned ulta pulta, and now Kaikeyi is wanting something totally different, and Kaikeyi is actually asking Sumantra to get Lord Ram, and Sumantra himself is a little bewildered. What is happening? Why is Rama being called like this, in this particular way, like this? But what does Rama think, right? Rama is also wondering. He's the supreme Lord. He knows everything. Yet we see the positive outlook of the Lord when things don't happen according to our, according to the expectation, right? What is expected at the time of installation of Lord Ram as the king? Lord Ram would be personally invited by Dashrath Maharaj to come to the palace and be crowned as a regent prince. Yeah, so that's how generally the crowning is done. But we see here that the charioteer is being sent, and yet Lord Ram thinks, Dashrath Maharaj and Kaikeyi, the queen, must be thinking how to do it very nicely, how it can be completed fast for the pleasure of Dashrath Maharaj, because Dashrath Maharaj wants it to be completed soon. So he is going, and what does Sita Devi think? Sita Devi thinks, okay, now you will be crowned the king, and now you have to serve the state, and I want to assist you in your service. So everywhere we see in Ramayana, there is only seva. How can I serve for the pleasure of my husband, for the pleasure of my wife, for the pleasure of my father, like that, right? It is only when a sense gratification creeps in, right, where mantra comes up, that what will happen to my position if Kaushalya's son becomes the king, then what will happen to my position, because I am the personal servant of Kaikeyi, who is now favored topmost by the king. So whenever sense gratification or trying to exploit or change situation just for our personal gratification, whenever that takes place, then there will be chaos. There will be frustration. There will be anger. Everything else will manifest. And the starting point of that is Kama Esha, Krodha Esha, Rajoguna Samudbhava. Krishna tells in Bhagavad Gita. Arjuna also asks, right? Sometimes you don't want to do bad things, but automatically we are forced to do bad things, right? Kaikeyi here, she was so good-hearted. She loved Ram so much, but a little moment of association with mantra actually made her wanting. It looks like she really wants Ram to go for that exile, right? So a lot of factors played part, and whenever kama or lust or desire for one's own sense gratification and trying to get that done by yena kena prakarena, right? We have to do yena kena prakarena mana Krishna niveshat. But when we are doing like some or the other, you want to remember Krishna, but some or the other, when we are thinking some or the other, I have to do this for my sense gratification, then the opposite effect happens, right? When we please the senses of the Lord, Rishikena Rishikesha Sevanam, Bhakti Ruchate, when the Lord is pleased, and all the devotee who is rendering service to the Lord is also pleased. Why? Because we are parts and parcels of the Lord. But then when we want to please our own senses and we try to change situations, manipulate the situations so that I may be benefited, then one is I will definitely get frustrated because I'm not actioning for the pleasure of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, and I also frustrate people around me, right? So whenever the situation goes out of control, we are frustrated, everything is in chaos, then we need to understand what is the consciousness in which I am acting, what is the consciousness in which the people around me are acting, right? So, and we need to rectify that situation, because when there is exploitation in the air, everything will go wrong. Everything becomes confusing. And then when we step back, take guidance from senior devotees, and then we make our consciousness correct to work for the pleasure of the Lord and not according to our own convenience, then things will fall in place, right? So Lord Ram actually tells later on also, right, that even if Ravana comes and takes a shelter of me, I will forgive him, right? So what to speak of
anybody else, right? Even if mantra, if she would just say that, okay, Kaikeyi, I'm so sorry, I gave you wrong advice, then everything would have got stopped, right? But then this is, of course, it's happening by the will of the Lord, but it gives a lot of lessons for us, right? Whenever sense gratification becomes a priority and service to the Lord takes a back seat, things are bound to get frustrated in this world. Hence, we have to be very careful. What is our consciousness, whether it is Bhoga Vritti or Seva Vritti? If our consciousness is Bhoga Vritti, we need to be prepared to face frustrations in life because it's bound to happen. But if our consciousness is Seva Vritti, just like Lord Ram is exhibiting, just like Sita Devi is exhibiting, that I want to serve you in your service as the king to the Ayodhya Vasis. So in that way, when service or Seva Vritti is the consciousness, then everything will settle itself, right? Even if there is a little bit of anxiety, then everything gets settled because the consciousness is clear, right? So that is a lesson that we can learn from this pastime. Okay, let's see what happens when Rama goes to meet Dashrath along with, Dashrath is along with Kaikeyi, and Lord Ram is going to meet Dashrath Maharaj. Let's see what's happening. Yes, Deval Mataji, go ahead.
Yeah, Hare Krishna Mataji, Dhanavad Pranam. Along with Sumantra, Ram went out from his palace quarters as a mighty mountain lion might emerge from his cave. Rama saw Lakshman standing at the first gate, bent low with joined palms. At the middle gate, Rama met his friends and relations, and he greeted them all according to their status, offering obeisances or embracing them. Within the courtyard, Rama mounted upon a golden chariot, which shone like fire and was covered over with white tiger skins and had thousands of small golden bells hanging from its sides. The chariot spurred on the tall steeds, which were as powerful as young elephants, and the chariot moved away swiftly with a deep rumbling. As the outer gate swung open, Rama's chariot came out from the palace like the moon emerging from behind a cloud. Rama went along the main road, preceded by a platoon of male warriors wearing swords and carrying bows. The prince sat peacefully while Lakshman fanned him. He smiled at the people who thronged the streets in the thousands. His chariot was followed by great elephants resembling moving mountains. Thousands of horsemen brought up the rear. Poets and singers chanted Rama's praises to the accompaniment of divine music echoing in the heavens. Mixed with these sounds were the shouts of the warriors, which resembled the roaring of lions. On the balconies and at the windows of the mansions lining the road stood women who showered Rama on all sides with flowers. The ladies also praised Sita, saying, "Surely that godly lady has performed the highest penances to have been blessed with the great hero Ram as her husband." The citizens, seeing Rama pass by, uttered blessings. "May victory attend you," they cried out. Others was heard to say, "Here goes Rama, who will today inherit the royal fortune. Fortunate too are we who will soon be ruled by him." Being extolled everywhere, Rama rode down the highway, which was lined with white houses, appearing like clouds, and with shops filled with abundant produce of every variety. The streets were strewn with jewels and with grains of rice and blades of sacred kusha grass. Brahmins made offerings of ghee lamps and incense to Rama as he passed, invoking divine blessings and saying, "We would renounce every worldly happiness simply to see Rama coming out of the palace as Prince Regent today. Indeed, even liberation itself is not so desirable." None could turn away their eyes or mind from Ram as he went along the road in Ayodhya. Everyone looking upon Ram also felt that he was glancing at them. Gradually, Ram and his entourage arrived at Dashratha's palace. Rama passed through the three outer gates on his chariot and then got down and passed through the last two gates on foot. He politely sent back all those persons who had followed him, even though they found it difficult to part from him. At last, Rama reached the inner chambers alone and approached Kaikeyi's room. As he entered the rooms, Rama saw the afflicted king seated with Kaikeyi on a golden couch. He bowed at his father's feet, then laid himself low below Kaikeyi, his mind fully composed. Dashratha appeared dejected and distressed, his face streaked with tears. He sat burning with agony and repeatedly sighing, appearing like the eclipsed sun or like a holy Brahmin who has told a lie. Seeing his son standing before him with a modest demeanor and folded palms, the monarch said only, "Ram," and could not say any other word, being overcome by grief. Rama was seized with apprehension to see his father in that unusual state. Like the ocean as the rising of the full moon, Rama became agitated. He was devoted to the king and was saddened to see him so sorrowful. How was it that on such a day his father did not greet him? Even when angry, he would always rise to bless his son. Why was he now remaining seated, looking downwards and weeping silently? Rama went before Kaikeyi, who sat at a distance from the king, and addressed her alone. "O godly lady, pray tell me the reason for my father's distress." Rama said gently, "Even though always affectionate to me, why does he not greet me today? Have I unwittingly committed some offense? Is the king angry with me, or am I having failed in some way to respect him?" Kaikeyi remained silent, and Rama continued, I hope no suffering caused by illness or mental anguish has afflicted my father. Truly, it is said that everlasting happiness cannot be had in this world. I hope I have not offended anyone dear to the king. If I were unable to please my father, or if I failed to do his bidding, and thus angered him, I would not survive even for an hour. What wretched man would not devotedly serve his father, a veritable god to him on earth, to whom he owes his own birth in this world? Understanding from Kaikeyi's taunt expression that there was tension between her and his father, Rama said, Perhaps my father has been hurt by some utterance of yours, O fair-faced queen, made out of vanity or anger. My dear Kaikeyi, please inform me of the cause of this unprecedented disturbance to the emperor, for I am very curious. Upon hearing this question from the high-minded Rama, Kaikeyi, who had become impudent and was thinking only of her own interest, replied boldly, The emperor is neither angry nor anguished, O Ram. However, there is something on his mind which he will not disclose for fear of hurting you, his beloved son. Having made a promise to me, the king now repents and wishes to retract his word, just like any other common man. The ever truthful monarch wants to build a dam across a stream whose waters have already flowed away. Truth is the root of piety. This is known to the righteous. O Ram, take care lest the king loses now his piety for your sake, angry as he is with me.
Right.
Looking into Ram's apprehensive eyes, Hare Krishna Mataji. Thank you, Dhanur Pranam.
Dandavat Pranam. So this is very interesting, how Kaikeyi, the one who loved Ram so much, right? She's so, in her heart, she's so confused and she's been misguided by mantra so much that now she's talking mantra's language as if it was her own, right? And we can see from the point of view of Lord Ram, he's anguished to see his father, but at the same time he's maintaining his calm. He's going and asking Mother Kaikeyi, what happened to Dashrath Maharaj? Did you say something, or am I the cause? Right. First and foremost, he says, "Am I the cause for this? Can I do something about this?" Right. So in that way, when he questions Kaikeyi, still, she does not feel any remorse that she's caused so much of trouble to Dashrath Maharaj. Right. So that is the nature of a person whose mind is corrupted. Right. Because once we do something wrong and we continue to do it, then we don't no longer feel the guilt. So sometimes we don't wake up for the Brahma Murta chanting, right? And we're unwell or something. Okay, and then we feel, okay, fine, I'm not well, so it's okay if I don't wake up. And then when that becomes a pattern, you don't wake up for 4 or 5 days, and then what happens? You don't feel bad. It is okay. I'm chanting my 16 rounds. Slowly, the mind will tell us what we want to hear, so that we will remain more and more comfortable. The more we are comfortable in devotional service, we should know that we are not progressing in devotional service, right? Because we need to have that pinch. We need to exert that little bit more when we want to progress in devotional service. Nothing happens within our comfort zone. We need to progress, right? We were talking the other day about a person who's swimming, right? If a person is staying still, he does not stay still in the ocean because the currents of the ocean will pull him. So similarly, devotional service, we are not stuck in this ocean of material existence. As long as we are swimming, following our gurus and following their instructions, we are going safely on the path of devotional service. But the moment we get slack and we want to remain stagnant, there is no stagnancy. We are only being pushed backward by the currents of material nature, by the 3 modes of material nature, right? So in this way, we see here that Kaikeyi, who was very good in terms of her relationship with Lord Ram, but now is being pushed by the current, right? Already her mind is polluted. So whatever she is saying is pushing her back and back towards the enmity for Lord Ram and wanting to get her work done some or the other, right? She just wants to ensure that her 2 boons are given by Dashrath Maharaj, and she would not hear anything else, whether it is something spoken by Dashrath Maharaj or whether it is something spoken by Lord Ram. So this is the nature of the mind, which is very clearly described here. Okay, who's reading next? Shobha Mataji, and then Sudha Mataji can read. Yes, go ahead.
Hare Krishna Mataji, Dandavat Pranam, Srila Prabhupada ki jai. I should start from upon hearing this question, right? Upon hearing this question from the high-minded Rama, Kaikeyi, who had become impudent and was thinking only of her own interest, replied boldly, the emperor is neither angry nor anguished. O Rama, however, there is something on his mind which he will...
That paragraph, Mataji. You need to start from looking into
Hare Krishna.
Krishna's apprehensive eyes from here.
Okay, looking into Rama's apprehensive eyes, Kaikeyi said, if you will understand to do whatever the king may ask, be it good or bad for you, then I shall explain everything. I shall speak out the king's promise only as long as it shall not fail because of you. But the king himself will not in any event tell you. Rama was distressed to hear Kaikeyi speaking in this way. Within the hearing of the emperor, he replied to her, alas, how shameful it is that I shall hear words expressing doubt about my devotion to my father. You should never think this, O glorious lady. At my father's command, I would this very moment leap into blazing fire, swallow a deadly poison, or plunge into the depths of the ocean. Therefore, tell me, my dear mother, what is on your mind? By my avowed words, I shall without doubt do whatever is desired by the king. Know that Rama's word is always truth. Seeing the king mute and the guileless Brahma prepared to carry out her desire, Kaikeyi felt her purposes all but accomplished. In, uh, in an unkind voice, she revealed her wicked intentions to Rama. It is well known how I once saved the king's life and how, as a result, he granted me a couple of boons. Against those boons, I solicited today a promise from the king to fulfill my desire. My wish for Bharata to be installed in your place and for you to go to the forest, remaining there for 14 years, O descendant of emperors, prove true to your words and to that of your father. Indeed, rescue the king from the ignominy of impiety and live without delay. Let Bharata be duly consecrated with all the paraphernalia arranged for you. While he remains here to rule this wide and prosperous earth, you shall remain for 14 years in some distant forest, wearing matted laws.
Bark trees. The king cried out in pain as Kaikeyi spoke. Rama stood by without showing any emotion as the queen continued. Overcome by compassion for you, this monarch cannot even look at your face. O Rama, ornament of your line, make good his promise and deliver him from his difficult and awkward situation. Even though Kaikeyi uttered such cruel words, Rama did not yield to grief. The king, however, felt increasingly agony as he thought about his impending separation from Rama. He listened in silence as Rama replied to Kaikeyi, so be it. The honor of my father's promise, I shall put on the dress of an ascetic and depart forthwith for the forest. You need entertain no doubt in this regards, O queen. Why though does not my father greet me as before? I could never transgress his order, even as the ocean, by the order of Supreme Lord, can never transgress his shores. Rama looked across at his father. He could not return his glance. The
Hare
king
Krishna.
kept his
Hari
head
Bol.
down.
Hare Krishna. Thank you so much. So we see here, this is the reaction of Lord Ram, right? So yad yad acharati shreshtas tat tat evetaro jana sayat pramanam kurute lokastat anuvartate. So why do we study these books as Ramayana, Mahabharata, and all these Vedic scriptures which have been written? Because they are all giving us practical application, how we need to react to situations, how we need to respond and not react to situations, in fact, right? So Lord Ram, who is the supreme personality of Godhead, who was about to be crowned as the regent prince, is now being asked to go to the forest. And that too, Dashrath Maharaj is not telling, Kaikeyi is telling him. And he thinks that Dashrath Maharaj did not speak to him and tell him because he was not sure of whether Ram would, no, Dashrath Maharaj, he knew that Dashrath Maharaj could not tell him this because of his love for Lord Ram, right? But Dashrath Maharaj is already thinking, he knows for sure that Ram will immediately follow the instructions because it is his desire. But what is he worried about? He's worried about separation from Lord Ram. He's worried about what will I do without Lord Ram? What will everybody say? It is so unjust on my part that just because I have given a boon to Kaikeyi and I, for my own, keeping my own word, am doing this kind of injustice to Lord Ram. That is what is causing this turmoil for Dashrath Maharaj. But at no point in time, Dashrath Maharaj even thinks or doubts that Rama will not fulfill the instructions, right? And what is Rama's reaction? Rama is telling Kaikeyi, so be it. I will honor my father's promise, even if I have to give my life. Before these two bones were actually told by Kaikeyi also. He's told that whatever, if I'm not able to fulfill the word of my father, I will go ahead and die right now. Right? So this going into the forest for 14 years and making Bharata the king was so easy for Lord Ram. And in fact, no task would have been difficult for Lord Ram if it were to give pleasure to Dasharath Maharaj. So that is the respect that Lord Ram had for his father. And even in calamity situation, which has just come up, he was so maintaining his calm, and he was talking in a respectful way to his mother or his stepmother, Kaikeyi, and he was also willing to do anything for the pleasure of his father, Lord Ram. So these are the lessons that we can take in our own life, right? Because the way we respond to a situation either improves the situation or worsens the situation. So we need to have the intelligence how we should respond so that the situation comes under control or the situation is not worsened. And that intelligence comes from the Supreme Personality of Godhead according to what is our consciousness, whether it is to enjoy or whether it is to serve the Supreme Lord, his devotees, and everybody else who's part and parcel of the Lord. Okay, Sudha Mataji, please go ahead, and then we'll end here. After this chapter, I think we'll end this chapter. Yeah, I think a little more is left. We'll try to end this chapter today. Yes, go ahead.
Yes, Hare Krishna Mataji, Dandat Pranams. Rama looked across at his father, who could not return his glance. The king kept his head down and wept softly. Rama turned back to Kaikeyi. Ordered only by you, O Kaikeyi, I would joyfully part with, in favor of Bharata, not only the kingdom, but also all my personal property, my wedded wife Sita, and even my own beloved self. How much more gladly would I part with these things when ordered by my father, the emperor himself, in order to please you and honor his pledge. Please reassure my afflicted father, for seeing him sitting there shedding tears pains me greatly. He may feel assured that I shall immediately enact his desire without feeling any sorrow at all. Let swift horses be sent for Bharata. Without questioning my father's command, I shall now quickly proceed to the forest. The Kaikeyi rejoiced at heart. Confident that Rama would soon leave, she urged him to hurry. Let it be so, she exclaimed. Messengers may leave immediately to fetch Bharata from his uncle's kingdom. You should not wait a moment, O Rama, lest some impediment presents itself. Keen as you are to depart, leave right now. Do not be concerned for the king's silence, for he is too shy to ask you himself. Let this apprehension be banished from your mind and make haste. As long as you have not left, the king will take neither food nor water. Drawing a deep sigh with the words, alas, how very painful, the king collapsed unconscious on the couch. Rama gently placed his cool hands on his father's forehead and raised him up. The prince was again urged on by Kaikeyi. Turning towards her, Rama said, I have no desire to live in this world as a slave to material gains. Like the rishis, I am devoted only to righteousness. I will always do whatever is agreeable to my adorable father, even at the cost of my life. The greatest piety lies in serving one's father. Indeed, O gentle lady, greater still is service to the mother, according to sacred texts. Surely you do not see any good points in me, O princess of Kekaya, as you felt it necessary to ask such a minor thing of my father. Your request alone would have sufficed. I shall go to a lonely forest and live there for 14 years. Please bear with me only as long as it takes for me to take leave of my other mothers and to gain the agreement of Sita. Try to ensure that Bharata protects the kingdom and serves his aged father, for this is the eternal morality. Unable to. Thank you, Mataji. Hare Krishna.
Krishna. What is he saying? It's not required for my father to make this order to me, right? You could have yourself ordered, and I would have done it, right? So this is Lord Ram's mood, right? Because he was not just willing to serve the orders of his father, but he was also respectful towards his mother, right? Or even the stepmother for that reason, right? So he sees that Dasharath Maharaj need not be disturbed for this, right? Look at his state, right? He need not have been brought into this situation. If you had just ordered me, I would have gone to the forest for 14 years, and Bharat could have become the king, right? So in this way, this is the respect and this is the response that Lord Ram actually gives to gives to Mother Kaikeyi. And he's saying, I only need a little bit of time so that I could take leave of Mother Kaushalya, Mother Sumitra, and also inform this to Sita. And in that way, I'm ready to go to the forest right now. Right? But Dasharath Maharaj is not even able to comprehend what is happening, because he's already in deep grief and he's almost fallen down unconscious. Right? The more Kaikeyi was explaining it to Lord Ram, Dasharath Maharaj was becoming more and more aggrieved, and he could not even stand up or even sit. So he's fallen down unconscious again. Yeah. Okay. The last section. Who wants to read? Okay, let me read this. Unable to speak due to grief, Dashratha wept loud. Rama bowed low at the feet of his royal father, and also before the hard-hearted Kaikeyi. He was moved by acute sorrow, but he kept it within himself, showing no external sign. Joining his palms and circumambulating his father and stepmother, Rama departed. He then made his way towards Kaushalya's rooms. Lakshman, hearing from Ram of the turn of events, followed close behind, his eyes brimming with tears. Reaching the room where the installation was to be performed, Rama respectfully went around the royal seat without casting his eyes upon it. Despite his renouncing the rulership of the world, no change of mood would be perceived in Ram any more than a perfect yogi who is completely transcended all duties, all dualities. So he was an embodiment of renunciation also. This is one of the qualities of the Lord, right? Aishwaryasya samagrasya veeryasya yashashashriyah jnana vairagyayaschaiva sannam bhaga itingana. So one of the opulences of the Lord, he possesses an unlimited proportion, is the opulence of renunciation. So Lord Ram, he was supposed to become the prince, but now he's been asked to go to the forest. In either situations, he was composed. In either situations, because he's the supreme Lord, he was exhibiting his quality of renunciation. He was not attached to the kingdom. Dasharath Maharaj, we see in Mahabharata, Dasharath Maharaj was, when he could not become the king because of his, he was blind and Pandu was made the king. Dasharath Maharaj, Dhritarashtra, right, was so angry, right? And what did he do? He wanted his desire of becoming the king, wanted that to be implemented by making his own son Duryodhana the king, right? So that is the attitude of a general person, right, or of a person who's not willing to, who's having this bhoga vritti, right? If I don't get it, at least my son should get it, right? In that way, the animosity will continue life after life, generations after generations. But what is Lord Ram saying here? Lord Ram is saying, you don't have to disturb my father. If you told me that I have to go, then I would have left on my own. So this is his renunciation spirit. And that is what Krishna also tells in Bhagavad Gita. Krishna says, perform your duty, but don't be attached to the result. If you are able to follow this instruction, then our life also will be peaceful and without anxiety, because you're not attached to anything. Everything is given to us by the Lord. Utilize it in the Lord's service. And when it is taken away, it is anyway given by the Lord. The Lord is taken away, so it's okay. Whatever else is remaining, let me live my life with it. Right? It's very easy to speak. It's very easy to read. It's very easy to understand. But it all depends on our desire to implement it and apply it in our life. Right? The more we desire to apply these principles in our life, although difficult, but it is not impossible. Right? With the grace of Guru and Gauranga, if we desire to live such a moral life, which is fixed with principles of obedience to our spiritual masters, to our parents, and our life also will be successful. Okay, let's read through the last section of this. Forbidding the use of the royal umbrella, which was offered him as he left, as well as a pair of beautiful royal whisks. Rama sent away his ministers, his chariot, and the citizens. The news of Rama's impending exile had spread quickly, and the people were shocked and dismayed. By mastery over his mind and senses, Rama controlled his own agony upon seeing the people's sadness. He exhibited his normal, peaceful demeanor and approached Kaushalya's apartments. He was followed by Lakshman, who, seeing his brother equipoised, was strenuously controlling his own emotions. Rama smiled softly. He was as dear to his relatives as their own lives, and did not wish to display any feelings which would cause them pain. As he entered Kaushalya's quarters, a loud and pathetic cry came from the ladies. Alas! Here is that Ram, who served all of us exactly as he did his own mother. Today he will leave for the forest. How could the foolish king exile the harmless Ram and thus bring ruin to the world? Hearing from a distance the piteous wail, Dashratha shrank with shame and hid his head beneath the silken sheets on his couch. Rama went towards Kaushalya's room. He carefully maintained his composure, although he felt agonized at seeing the suffering of his relatives. As he approached the outer entrance of Kaushalya's apartment, he saw many doorkeepers seated and standing there. They quickly flocked around Ram, uttering blessings on the young prince. At the middle entrance, Rama was greeted by elderly Brahmins who were constantly reciting Vedic hymns. Bowing low before them, Rama entered and came to the inner door, where he was led into Kaushalya's chamber by her personal maidservants. So now the next section of the next chapter is going to talk about the conversation between Lord Ram and Kaushalya, and how Lord Ram will explain to Kaushalya why it's important for Kaushalya to stay there because Kaushalya will want to go with Lord Ram, right? How it is important for the wife to serve the husband to stay there, and at the same time, the next conversation will be with his own wife Sita, and how the very interesting twists and turns in the conversations. Where Sita Devi also would would chastise Lord Ram, right? There are two places where Sita Devi actually engages into a debate with Lord Ram, right? So this is one of that will be very interesting to read that section. So we'll end here. This chapter comes to an end here. Tomorrow we will see what is it that Lord Ram, how does he express what has been told to him to Mother Kaushalya. It's very important, right? Sometimes we add fuel to the fire, right? And also, it is not that Rama is emotionless, right? He is aggrieved because all the subjects are unhappy about this, right? Yet, it is his duty to follow the instructions of his father. So, it's not that, he's emotionless, whatever happens, it's okay, I don't have any emotions. No. Like, that's also in the case of devotees. It's not that devotees don't have feelings of separation, or the devotees are not grieved when things don't go according to their plan. But the important thing is we should not give up our duty in all circumstances, right? It is not that, when a dear relative passes away, or, when things don't go away, of course we feel sad, right? So much of effort has gone in this direction, it's not working out. But that should not make us stay away from performing our duties. That's what Lord Ram is also depicting here. He's sad. Things have changed, totally, completely ulta pulta ho gaya. But, the people are all sad around me, right? And Lord Ram himself is feeling sad with the change of situation. But it does not make him go against dharma, go against performance of his duty in obedience to the instructions of his father, which was conveyed to him by his stepmother. So in this way, these are the wonderful lessons that we can learn from Ramayana. ग्रंथराज श्री रामायण की जय, जगत गुरु श्रील प्रभुपाद श्रील गुरुदेव की जय, अनंत कोटि वैष्णव वृंद की जय, पिताय गौर प्रेमानंदे, हरि हरि बोल, हरे कृष्णा. So quickly we'll do Harinam Sankirtan or Sankirtan in glorification of Lord Ram, and then we'll end in about 2 minutes. Raghupati Raghav Raja Ram Patita Pavan Sita Ram Sita Ram Jaya Sita Ram Sita Ram Jaya Sita Ram Raghupati Raghav Raja Ram Patita Pavan Sita Ram Jai Gaur Jai Jai Jagannath Jai Abhagate Govinda Radha Gopinath Jai Radhe Jai Radhe 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 Shri Radhe Jai Radhe Radha Jai Radhe Radha Gurudev Jai Gurudev Jai Gaur Hari Bol Hari Bol Hari Bol Hari Bol Jai Gaur Hari Bol Hari Bol Hari Bol Hari Bol Jai Gaur Hari Bol Hari Bol श्री श्री सीताराम लक्ष्मी शत्रुघ्न हनुमान जी की जय, अनंत कोटि वैष्णव वृंद की जय, निताय गौर प्रेमानंदे, हरि हरि बोल, Hare Krishna. So thank you very much, dear devotees, for joining us in this wonderful study of Ramayana. We'll meet tomorrow morning 4:30 a.m. as we continue with our Brahma Muhurta chanting session, Brahma Muhurta program. And then we will meet again at 11:30 a.m. as we continue with the study of Ramayana, the discussion between Lord Ram and Mother Kaushalya, how it progresses. Thank you very much. Grantraj Ramayana ki jai, Anandakota Vaishnava ki jai. Jai Gaur Premanande, Hari Hari Bol. Thank you.